Hope. By J. Wdowski. Friday. Ms. Romano, I understand that you have not finished Mr. Porter's projects. You understand that Mr. Porter is your highest priority. Ms. McDowell clenched her smile. Ms. McDowell, you told me that your projects are my primary priority since you are my direct supervisor. Jenny looked up at the woman standing and leaning over her cubicle wall. Ms. McDowell, with a nervous laugh, stood up straight and looked around to see if anyone was overhearing their conversation. I never told you such a thing. She smiled to those around her. I told you Mr. Porter's clients are our highest priority. Ms. McDowell then leaned back into Jenny's cubicle space even further. She locked her jaw. I never told you that. I told you Mr. Porter is your highest priority. Sure. I am working on it now. Standing back up straight. Good. She broadcast her voice so others could hear. Be sure to have that on his desk before the end of the day. She stretched a large smile across her face, and she turned and walked into Ted. He was holding a cardboard box with all his personal things and was being escorted out of the building by a security guard. Watch where you're going. She chastised Ted. Sorry. Ted apologized even though it was Ms. McDowell that walked into him. Friday night. Jenny's arms reached behind her as she gripped tightly onto the railing. Leaning forward, her tears fell into the dark waters below. A few yards away, a lone taxi pulled up to the side of the bridge. She paid no attention as Ted got out of the taxi. The taxi drove off, seemingly not caring that it just dropped off a lone man on a deserted bridge in the dead of night. Ted walked to the railing and climbed over it, seemingly completely unaware of Jenny standing on the edge just a few feet from him. His eyes were filled with silent tears. He also gripped the railing with both his arms behind him and looked down at the rushing dark waters far below. Jenny finally noticed Ted. Don't try to stop me. Ted, startled by her shouting at him, almost lost his grip on the railing. He turned towards her and finally noticed her. I wasn't planning to. I didn't even know you were there. Jenny is confused. Are you going to jump? That was the plan. He sniffled. Honestly concerned, she asked him, why? He very carefully moved a little closer to her to better see her and talk with her. They fired me today, after sweating for them for 15 years, and my wife left me 6 months ago. My own son sees me as a cautionary tale. Jenny also carefully moved a little closer to him. A cautionary tale? Why would your own son think that of you? His mother for years had told him that I am a loser and will never be successful. She finally left me for her boss. Jenny felt sorry for Ted. That's horrible. Why are you here? Fishing. Ted tried to joke. Jenny, for the first time in years, let out a light chuckle. Yeah, but I forgot my fishing pole. Hearing her chuckle made Ted sniffle back his tears, so I shouldn't feel bad scaring off the fish. Jenny inched a little bit closer to him, also sniffing back her tears. Where did you work? I was a client recruiter for B&S. Jenny was surprised, inching closer to him. I'm a bookkeeper at B&S. I have been there for 8 years, stuck in the same position. Ted cautiously slid closer to her, surprised we never met before. Yet, I am not down in accounting often. Why are you planning to jump? Did they fire you too? Jenny laughed. No, I wish. The only one who has ever loved me died last night. Ted, truly sympathetic, asked her, your husband? Jenny shook her head. No, Fluffy, my dog. I've never been married. I've never even had a real boyfriend. I find that hard to believe. That I would jump because of my dog. Ted, talking with her, calmed her heart from pounding so hard. He replied completely honestly, no, that you never had a boyfriend. You like men. Jenny laughed again. Yes, I like men. I am just not their type. My mother would tell me my eyes are too small, and I am too mousy looking. Ted felt angry that Jenny's mother would say such a thing to her own daughter. Your mother is wrong. You have lovely, kind eyes. Granted, they look puffy right now from your crying, but that's understandable. Jenny wanted to brush away her tears, but was still holding tightly to the railing with both hands. Really? Ted smiled. Yes, really. Ted took a deep breath and decided he had nothing to lose. This may sound strange, since we have just met, and we are both about to jump. But would you like to have a cup of coffee with an unemployed recruiter? Jenny was pleasantly surprised by his offer. It's kind of late for coffee. Well, yeah, if we were both planning to try to go to sleep afterwards, I would agree. I don't think the caffeine will affect our falls later. We can always come back afterwards to jump." Jenny laughed so much she lost her grip on the railing behind her. Ted instinctively reached out to her, preventing her from falling. Looking at him with soft, vulnerable eyes, she smiled and nodded, yes. Ted returned her smile. With a quivering lower lip, he held back his overwhelming emotions of the moment. "Okay then." Being sure she was secure, he climbed back over the railing, and then took hold of Jenny's hand to help her back to the other side. He turned to the road. With her safely beside him, he hailed them a taxi. They found a late-night diner that overlooked the bridge. They sat in a booth near the windows. Sitting across the table from each other, they had coffee, talked, and got to know each other. They never returned to the bridge. The end.